Hello, this is Jeff Price from Prize Gaming, and today I wanted to take you behind the scenes of a game I'm creating using the Dungeons & Dragons adventure system from Castle Ravenloft. Going into the D&D adventure system, whenever I'm creating it based off of the D&D 5th edition. I've purchased the monster manual on Roll20, so I won't have to worry about looking on the internet and finding a whole bunch of tokens. I can just grab those tokens to use for the actual monster pieces. There's a few things I've changed on here. I set everything to NPC since we're not really going to be using the character sheets. I mainly need character sheets to be available for all the players to be able to move tokens and the cards on the map. So NPC works great because you don't need all this extra stuff. Roll queries, I just went ahead and set never roll for advantage. I think there's one other thing I changed in here. I let all the players see the name and all the bars, so I let them all see that because instead of having to use the little health tokens you get in the board game, we're going to go ahead and use Roll20's system to keep track of how much health you have, and then there's these little icons that we can place on the actual characters, and I can show you briefly right here. We got these little icons right here, and so we got one for poison, so we can use poison. We got entangled, or that could be immobilization. So we can use these icons right here to easily see if there's a condition. So there's even web, see? And so it kind of just shows up on the token. So I'm planning on doing that to eliminate having to scan absolutely everything and using some of the innovative stuff that Roll20 already has to offer. Alright, so I've already created a couple of these, and what I've done is I created just the general character sheet. So this is the NPC character sheet, and all I've done is I've used the scanned image I had for the back of the tile, and then I gave it CR1 for Castle Ravenloft 01. And so I've named them all in order just so I have a way of keeping track of them all, including the start. I called it 00, but start all the way through 40. There's 40 tiles, so I mean 41 if you count the start, but I naming that start. The main important thing here is to set this to all players, and then all I did is I duplicated it 40 times. That way, that's a step I might forget, so this way I don't have to worry about, or so I don't have to go through and edit every single card afterward to allow all players to be able to see it in their journal as well as edit all of them. The reason this is important because we want all the players to be able to grab a tile and place it like the board game has you do. You know, each player takes turns and they place a tile. Another thing I've done, and I'll show you this, is I make use of the rollable tables. And what the rollable tables do is they let you have a multi-sided token. So this is how you flip the tiles over. Okay? And so the game says you have the arrow pointing the direction that the characters are. Right? And so by having this editable, all the players will be able to rotate this depending on, you know, so if their character explored this, ended its turn on this end of the tile, then it can place it this way. So they can rotate it that way. And so all that's done by using the multi-sided tile. Alright, so let me show you how I've done this. So I'm going here, I'm going to create, so I've already done 7, so I'm going to do number 8. So I'm creating a new table by clicking the add button. Then I click on this. I'm going to go ahead and rename it so I know what it is. So map, and this is going to be CR08. Okay, and then what I do is I create a editable item. This one I'm going to call back because this is going to be the back token right here. And I've already uploaded this once, so anything that you upload is automatically in the system, and just to save time and resources, I'm not going to upload multiple images. I'm just going to reuse the one. So if I click on the art library and click on my library, it'll show me a bunch of the images I've already uploaded to the site. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my back tile and drag and drop it. I'm going to save that change, and then I'm going to add item number 2, which will be the actual tile. So this will be CR8, and then this one, not important, but it's a good habit to get into, is because these multi-sided can be used as dice, and that's what I'm going to be using for the encounters as well as the treasure, just so people can actually just roll it and it shows them. Or I might stick with just rolling a dice, but this is an option. So I'm just getting the habit of increasing these numbers by 1. I mean, it's optional, but that's just my best practice. So then I come over here. This is CR8. So I'm going to go drag CR8 on there. All right. It's on there. Save changes. And then this is done. So I hit save. Now I click on the collections. And there it is, CR8. Now, in order to make CR8 a tile, you see that there's 2 options here, a roll and a token. I just click on the token tile. And as you can see, this just popped up when I did that. So that's our token we made. It's our multi-sided token. It's defaulted to the single square size, so I know these are 4x4, so I stretch it out. And now, if I right click, it's got the multi-sided. All right. Here we go. All right, so there's a lesson learned right here. So let's go ahead and grab one of my duplicate copies. I'm going to go ahead and rename this by clicking edit. Go ahead and delete this copy of. I'll make sure it says CR08. All right, all players. Save changes. All right, so I'm going to double click on this, and it kind of makes it translucent over here. As you see, it's kind of kind of translucent. All right, and we'll go back to that in a minute. Then I'm going to go over here. Now I'm going to select, scroll to the bottom, CR8, hit save. It's important to link this to your character sheet because the character sheet is what allows everyone to move it. Because I've given permission for everyone to see it in their journal, which is what we're looking at here. This is the journal. If you roll over, it says journal. So everyone will see the map tiles here. All right, and since it's linked to the character sheet, CR8, in its settings, it's set so that everyone can edit it, which means they can move it around on the board. Now, this is from the original tile I duplicated a bunch of times, so we'll go ahead and remove this. Yes, delete. And then we want to make sure that our newest tile that we set to CR8 is selected, and then we click Use Selected Token. Now we hit save, and we are done. Now all your players will be able to move this token just like the rest of them whenever they go to select a tile at random before the game starts. And after I get all this done, I'm gonna place these in different order so that it's kind of random, and then players will be able to choose a tile, change the side over to choose a side, and that's indicated that they've chosen a map tile, and then they can place it on the board where they need to based on where their hero landed on the starting tile. So there's that. Okay, and then I will continue the video when I'm moving on to the next section.